Two, three, and we are live. Yep.
Hello and welcome, Red Devils United. Well, it's been a long time since we were top of the league and now we are no more. Arsenal versus United was supposed to be a spectacle, a game where we expected to bounce back after that loss against Sheffield United midweek. However, we came away with a stalemate today and with a big chance to go down to third if Leicester win the game. And now, let's head into our discussion. So, Sagar, what do you think of the game today with the team sheets and the tactics out on display? Were you enthusiastic about it before the game started?
I think you put it right when you sent me the chat. Do you remember? It's a very passive game. I think both of the teams matched up really well in terms of 15 minutes belonging to Arsenal, the next 20 minutes belonging to United, and similar way. So yeah, I think two things are for certain. We need to forget about the title. It was good while it lasted. We were on the top of the table. I'm not saying we cannot challenge, but given how unpredictable this league has been this year, but yeah, we need to concentrate on our results and how we can do better. And the other thing is, I think Arteta would be the happier manager uh, of the two because they get 4 points off United of the possible six. And yeah, those are the two key takeaways I think for me from the game. Other than that, yeah, what were your thoughts? Like, how did you feel watching the game?
I mean, for me, I wasn't I wasn't putting my money on Man United today, especially after the game against Sheffield and the way
Yeah,
United has played against Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. You know, we've like the past two games, we were like, oh, United will win these games easily. You remember we
yeah,
lost 2-0. That was at Emirates, and
yep,
it was still the 20 season, 2019-2020 season. Everybody
yes,
expected us to win, but we lost. And then this year, we dropped RB Leipzig 5-0. Who do we
yeah,
face? Arsenal, who's not in the best of moments. But they came out 1-0 winners to score their goal of the month, apparently for that season. And then we face Arsenal again. However, this time Arsenal were really on a good run of form, 5 games unbeaten.
yep,
And I think all of them were wins, except one of the games. And then United, we had a draw with Liverpool, then we beat them in the FA Cup, and everybody thought we had turned the corner because that was a really good win against Liverpool in the FA Cup. But then
mm,
Sheffield United came, and I was like, what's happened to these players? You know, these guys don't look like they just beat Liverpool 3 goals to 2 and had a thriller.
yep,
They were playing as if Sheffield was the better team, and everyone looked deflated. There was no aggression, there's no aggressiveness to the play. We had nothing going forward.
yeah,
And today it was a bit of the same. Like,
yeah,
so me, I wasn't enthusiastic about the game. However, first half presented a lot of opportunities for us. We came really close, like three really good chances. We missed them. And then Bruno Fernandes's free kick, David Luiz just got his head. That was like going in the far corner.
yeah,
And I think that's where the highlights for United ended, except
yes,
for a moment. So for me, I'm not bullish about our chances going forward. Everybody was happy and excited that United is in the title race, but we were all surprised
yeah,
that United is in the
for sure,
title race despite
for
the way
sure,
we started.
yeah,
And
yeah,
for a moment, really started believing that okay, Solskjaer has also turned the corner with United, and you know we're really looking like title winners. Pogba's back, Bruno's firing, Edinson Cavani is making those runs in the box, and you know is making the play. Take Luke Shaw is back to his best,
yeah.
but that wasn't real United. This is real United. We need
That is,
consistent
yeah,
United, and this brings back the question again to Solskjaer, like what is he doing? We haven't got any players in this transfer window, not even on loans, to sort of, you know, plug the gaps, especially on the right wing and defense. So yeah, that
yeah.
was my monologue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is correct. Like you touched upon a lot of good points that all the Manchester United fans are currently thinking about in terms of what chances we stand of winning the title. I'm pretty certain that it hurts to say as a United fan, but I think City are demonstrating what's called a championship mentality, which is essentially if you are not on form, you grind out results like what they did today against Sheffield United, and if everything is clicking for you, they just trash teams like what they did against, I think, West Brom, if
West
I'm not
Brom,
wrong.
yeah. 5 clean
So,
sheets in a row to add to that.
yeah, exactly. So that is what I think City is really good at doing, and that will again, yeah, I certainly hope City to run away with the league for sure if they keep on this run of form going forward. But they definitely have a couple of difficult fixtures coming up in February, so you never know. Like this league till now has been very unpredictable, so you cannot never rule out anyone saying they cannot catch up or anything like that. But yeah, City definitely look favorites to win the title for sure.
They've been
Um,
amazing, like their
yeah,
defensive solidity. And
yeah,
Emerick Laporte is back. John
yeah,
Stones, like today was a surprising day to look at the City's
yeah,
team. Like,
yeah.
despite the changes with KDB out, they're still managing to grind out
Still managed
results
to win. Yeah, yeah,
or win with 3 or 4 goals easy. So that's like that shows that Pep Guardiola, is moving the team in the right direction and has some sort of semblance to what their expectations are. With
yeah.
United, I think we are better off not being first than being first.
Yes, yes. I think that's something in which I think might favor United a little bit. That not having that additional pressure of leading on the top of the table, where you know that you need to grind out or win, get results essentially to stay there. Now we have some catch up to do with regards to City. Even I'd say Leicester, who I think might go above us. So now that we know, we need to put in a run of form to get those points on board and catch up teams who are ahead of us. I think that might favor United a little bit. But yeah, as United fans at the beginning of the season, we never envisioned this, right? We never expected this from this Solskjaer team. We definitely wanted to catch up with Liverpool. That we have accomplished, I would say, because we are 4 points ahead of them currently.
Yeah. And
And
if
that
Liverpool
is,
win, they
yeah,
come back with the point
yeah,
within us.
yeah,
And we had a 6 point gap to
yeah.
to think about it. So like that's how
So yeah,
quickly the margins are changing in this league this year.
yeah.
Like City
But
at one point in
over,
time was 6 points behind
yeah,
Liverpool, and now they
yes,
are 7 points ahead with a game in hand.
yeah. But I think the underlying point essentially is that we are showing progression in this season as well. So that is good to see, even though we have a lot of expectations being Manchester United fans, where we need the team to see at the top of the league and get results there. But yeah, this is definitely progression. But the one negative point I had regarding Solskjaer's managerial stint in this particular season is that of the top six teams, the traditional top six teams we have faced till now, we have gone into the games looking like we don't want to lose. It's not looking like we are taking the impetus to kind of win the games or force a win. So I think that is something we need to work on for sure. What do you think about that? Because you can see the City result, the Chelsea, the Tottenham we were thrashed. Let's forget that. The Liverpool result, or let's say this game as well. So we are going into these games, even the Leicester games. We are going into these games not looking to lose, just sitting back, making sure that we are defensively solid. Even the formation today was very defensive, I would say, because McTominay and Fred starting
Mm.
with Maguire and Lindelof definitely meant that we were going to sit back
And
and
move the ball up to
yeah,
Pogba and
exactly, exactly. So what are your thoughts about that? Like facing the traditional top six teams, do you think, in your opinion, we are doing enough to win the games? Are we being just unlucky, or what's the case there?
I think there are two sides to the coin here. Last season, we were beating the top six teams left, right, and center, and
Yes,
we were like
exactly.
thumping, them. And those were like wins that even Liverpool, not Liverpool, but City, Tottenham, Chelsea, like, oh, how did United do that?
Yeah,
With such an inconsistent squad. But this
yeah,
year, I think what Solskjaer is doing, this is my thought. Solskjaer may not be doing this at all. It's like he's trying to build resilience into the squad and ensuring that we don't lose against the top six
yeah.
teams. We come out with a
Mm-hmm.
draw, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't get beat at teams like Wolves, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Fulham. Because last year we were being beaten by those teams, or
Mm-hmm.
we were coming out with draws against those teams, and that was hurting our chances to get top four. Because top six teams, we play 12 games against them, but with
But the
other
rest
teams,
has
we're
to be
playing
against,
26
yeah.
games. So if we come out with wins and wins in those 26 games, but if we have draws in these 12 games, the bulk of our points is still coming from
Yeah,
those
yeah,
26 games. And to me, I think that's where the focus is now, and that is why we have more points at this stage of the season than we had than we had in the last two seasons under Solskjaer and then Mourinho as well.
yeah.
So I feel that's a good ploy because we've seen Pep Guardiola do it at the start
Right,
of the season,
right,
where he
right.
went completely defensive. I have never seen a Pep Guardiola team in a 3-5-2 or a 5-3 do defensive. Chelsea did that against us
Yeah,
at Old Trafford, and I think Arsenal also did that against us in that first game at Old Trafford. Like, just
yeah.
come out with a point. If we get a win, that's good. And we were in a
That's good. Yeah.
position to get a win, at least against Liverpool and Arsenal
Mm.
today.
Mm.
However, we did not take our chances. We came close, but I hope this team, thinks that this draw is a loss. And next
Yeah.
game against Southampton, we truly come out of our cages and fighting and raring to go for that win, because that's now is the game that we have to win. So that's my thought, that we have shifted our focus to winning against the bottom half teams
Bottom half
rather than
teams.
just coming out
Yeah.
with wins against the top half teams.
Yeah, I think you know what's disappointing with that statement which you just made is the fact that Arsenal are a mid-table team and we should should have won this game. So yeah, Arteta should have gone with a much more positive. Sorry, not Arteta. Solskjaer should have gone into this game with a much more positive attitude because um, midway, I think in the first half, McTominay had to be
Substituted.
because he was having some issues. And Solskjaer brought on Martial, who is an attacking option, right? So the, you can definitely see the intent in terms of what he's trying to do to get more players on the upper half of the pitch and allowing Pogba to sit in the midfield and dominate games from there, but didn't quite work out. Uh,
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah, I
surprising.
think
Like
it's definitely, yeah,
like we have been non-existent in that midfield for
yeah,
like ever since we played Liverpool.
yeah, yeah. That is true. Yeah, I think Pogba, I think, has been pivotal in the midfield for us, where Bruno, for instance, has not had great last 5 to 6 games, apart from the Liverpool game where he came in and scored that free kick. Which, if you exclude that, the five Premier League games, past five Premier League games, he has not been influential at all. He is making those runs. We all know that he has that ability to unlock a defense or find that pass or something like that. But yeah, he needs to get on top of his game and start putting in those performances that are expected from him. And up top, I think Cavani today had two great chances to,
Oof.
I think, score.
I
I'm
mean,
not
he's the
sure.
guy that we,
Yeah.
expect to score from those
Yeah.
chances. But then Cavani, like,
Yes.
he is prolific, but he's also
Mm.
wasteful. Like, we've seen
Yeah.
him, at PSG getting six chances, wasting four, but scoring two. Like, that's Cavani. But at United, we are not creating those six chances for him. We're just giving him two chances. And those two chances turned out to be the ones that either miss it or just, pushed out wide. So, but with Cavani, we're seeing the kind of movements and the runs a striker needs to make. And that's something that Marcel is not even doing. So with Cavani, we are at least getting those chances in the box, where with Marcel up top, we were not getting at all. Like that Sheffield game was prime example where Martial was nowhere near where he ought to be, and he had to be shunted out wide just so that Edinson Cavani could come in as a striker and sort of, get those opportunities going. So for us, I think our top four, the quartet, as
Yeah.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so compared to the
Hmm.
quartet that won the Champions League in 1999, they're failing us.
Yeah.
Rashford has been wasteful beyond measure.
Yeah. I
Like,
think
I
Rashford.
mean,
Yeah.
he does not pull the trigger when he should be pulling the trigger,
What a
or
chance he had in the first half.
yeah,
Was it in the first half or the second
that
half?
was the
I think.
first half where he got the
Uh,
ball, and he should have
oh,
just taken it first time instead
oh,
of getting the ball down, and then he just got crowded out by Bernd Leno and David Luiz and every Arsenal defender in the box. I
yeah.
mean, that guy, he does everything right until he gets the ball, and then we're
The
like, okay,
final. Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that's
I think the
that's what,
final element is what is missing. Yeah.
and that is what Mourinho said. Like Rashford is not a number nine because he
Yeah.
lacks that part of his game. He's
Yeah.
not world class either.
Yeah.
Had he been
I
world
think
class, he would have scored like five, six more goals for
yeah,
us
what
by
would have
now.
worked for sure is switching Martial and Rashford in the wings, because I think Rashford is much more influential from the left hand side, because you know that he cuts in and the ball is on his right foot, and he's much more comfortable there, as we saw today at the back post, where the ball fell on his left, and he was not comfortable at all, and he could have just lashed through and we could have
Yeah,
scored,
like
but
we could have taken a shot, made Bernd Lennon do something,
yeah,
get a
exactly,
deflection,
yeah,
and somebody else could have
yeah,
taken a rebound and hit it into the goal or tapped into the
yeah.
goal.
Yeah, I think it's the lack of goals from the front three that is hampering United, because of the available 6 points we have just taken one, which is not champions
Or
form
like
for
last
sure.
last three games of the available 9 points,
Yeah,
we've taken two.
two.
And
Yeah,
in that time, City, like those 7 points that we lost out on, City won all three games and they've gone above us. So, that's how margins change. But I
yes.
think with the kind of games that we're getting now, some of the teams in the bottom half, lower half, or the mid table, I think we should be able to make that difference. But I
Mm-hmm.
had a question
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it's time to think beyond Anthony Martial now? Because we've given him a lot of chances up top. And last year we felt that, it was a breakthrough season. And then Paul Scholes, when the season started, said, "Oh, Anthony Martial did such a good job of faking, being a genuine number nine." That everybody
Mm-hmm.
got fooled by it, and we laughed at
Yeah.
Paul Scholes' comments. We're like, "Dude, what are you saying? He just scored 22 goals last season for us." And this year, we're actually seeing that he is not a genuine number nine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that he has had ample opportunities for sure. I think he has been at the club for around 6 years now. He didn't get like he got shipped out when Zlatan came into the club under Mourinho's reign, and that really didn't do well with Martial as well, taking off his number nine shirt from him. But yeah, last season he got almost, like you said, 20 goals, 20 odd goals in the season. But this time around, he has just scored 2 goals in the Premier League, which is appalling for a number nine of a top four club. And yeah, I'm not sure. Like, if you had to compare, right? If you had to take a look from, if you had to just keep your Manchester United affiliations aside and just take a look at it as a neutral, you would see that City currently, who are leading the league, right? It's just Gabriel Jesus they have as the number nine, with who has not been prolific as well, but they're still on the top of the table. But I think it's the formation that plays well with City, because they play that false nine, and Soldier I don't think is tactically so adept to have a false nine kind of a formation going for him. I think that is where, yeah, for sure, I think Martial had to do a little bit better, and maybe this season, if he is not able to come back and do something ridiculous going forward. I think it's fair to say he has had his chances. It's fair to say he is given a consistent run of games in the striker position, and we still had to get someone in the form of
Yeah.
Cavani to have backup. He was supposed to be a backup for him,
But now
but he is
Cavani's like,
now a starter. Yeah,
I like Cavani as a starter, but that's the right point, and we're still in the market for a striker based on, reports coming out from different agents or sources and outlets, which points to the fact that Martial is not a number nine, Rashford is not an out-and-out striker, Greenwood is still developing, and Greenwood has he had a trouble start to this new season where he was in the news for all the wrong reasons, and then Gareth Southgate took him on to national duty when Solskjaer felt he
national
was not ready, and that sort of
he was
messed up
not ready.
Greenwood's
Yeah,
head. So
yeah,
it's been a setback, and we never really strengthened those positions. And another thing that I've seen so far is our gaps on the right wing, where Solskjaer said
yeah,
Edinson Cavani has to drop either back or has to move out to wide positions just so
yeah,
that he can get the ball.
yeah.
But Edinson Cavani is Edinson Cavani when he is inside that 9 yard box
Exactly.
rather than being out wide. So, I think that's another area where we are crying out for a player for the last 5 years. We
Yep.
have converted our right wingers and left wingers into left backs and right backs, and we've lost out on genuine wingers.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
thought Amad Diallo would have been given at least 15, 20
Again.
minutes against
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool in the FA Cup, against Sheffield, and even today.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see him coming up. And Scholzker's like, oh,
Yeah.
he's ready. I'll give him chances. He'll get chances. We're not
Mm.
seeing him. We're not seeing Donny van de Beek either. So,
Yeah. I think he'll get. They will. I think for sure Diallo will get his chances this season because the way he has been playing, and I think it's the under 23s. He got a couple of goals today, and the way Solskjaer has been speaking about him, saying he's tearing it apart in training sessions, everything like that. He will definitely get his chance because we lack a genuine right winger, and
I'm like been praying.
yeah,
I would fast for a week, if we get a
yeah.
genuine right winger
Yeah,
in the team.
I think the yeah definitely we need someone in the right hand side position because Greenwood, for me, I think I personally see him as a number as a striker, much more of a striker than a winger, because he has that strike with him. It's just the fact that developing that predatory instincts of a number nine, which he can definitely learn from Cavani, who
Oh
is
wow, yeah.
absolutely wonderful at that. Right?
And that is
So
what
yeah,
Ibra was supposed to do to Martial and Rashford, but then Ibra being Ibra is like it was all about him.
yeah,
And Mourinho was like, yeah, Ibra, you're the man, and Martial and Rashford's game did not develop, but
yeah,
hopefully Cavani can help them raise their games. And Pogba came out with a statement after the Liverpool game where he said that the reason why we got Cavani is because Martial and Rashford don't have the qualities that
yeah,
Cavani has. And I have
yeah,
never seen Pogba making out those comments, but he made that comment, and that made me think, okay, Cavani's
yeah,
like really here to show them the movements, and some of his movement on the pitch is sublime. Like he starts to
absolutely.
play, he links up to play, he comes back to the halfway line, gets the first touch of the ball, gives it back to Shaw or Bruno, and then runs up ahead to start that attack.
Yeah. I think absolutely. I think Cavani has been really good, but at 33, 34, you won't
He's
expect him to play every game full 90 minutes, right? So yeah, there needs to be some sharing of
Mhm.
responsibilities as the number nine between Cavani and Martial for sure. The other so there are two positives I wanted to touch upon from this game at least. And the last couple of games is that United have been unbeaten away from home for the last 18 games, which is a good sign, which definitely says that Solskjaer has been apprehensive in terms of approaching the away games and making sure that we win. Some of them we don't lose for sure. That is what his approach has been. The next three games, which are coming up in the league, are all home games. The other positive I wanted to talk about is Luke Shaw's rise as a left back. I
I'm
think
glad you brought
you
that up.
know
I almost
you
missed
know
out on Luke Shaw.
yeah, what's interesting there is Cavani was brought in for a reason, to see a rise in Martial's form, because he knows that he has competition and someone to learn from, and that in turn would have helped him grow this season. That was definitely the thought process in the left back position as well, because we brought in Teles, who we know has a great left foot,
Left foot.
and he can deliver crosses. That has really benefited Luke Shaw as in form of competition and taking his game to the next level. And that is what we want within a team, like Manchester United, where you have competition for all the positions and you see players stepping up each and every game, and that's exactly what Luke Shaw has done. He has been brilliant, like the past 5 to 6 games. He has definitely stepped up, and for sure was the man of the match for me this game, because he was putting in balls left,
Phew.
right, and center. I think both of the chances for Cavani
Like
were
the
from crosses from Shaw, right?
and even that Rashford's
Yeah, exactly.
chance,
That
Luke
yeah,
Shaw, he ran in, found space, and a
yeah.
perfectly weighted ball into the box.
He's
All
taking
Rash,
corners as well.
he's taking. I'm like he's taking set
Yeah,
pieces, corners. His
yeah.
delivery into the box has improved. The guy
Mhm.
runs up ahead. The guy tracks back. He's doing
Yeah,
everything, and it was interesting to see when Mourinho made that comment. Okay, it's Luke Shaw's body, but my brain. I'm like that guy, Luke Shaw, has come up a huge way from that comment. That comment is
yeah, for
derogatory
sure,
to say the
for sure.
least for any football player.
Any player, yeah.
Like every player has a brain, I think, no matter how they use it. But for Mourinho to make that comment to get a reaction from Luke Shaw, I think Luke Shaw is not that kind of a player who, like I don't think any of the United squad was something that would
Expecting.
do well with negative comments.
Yeah,
But Luke Shaw has been the most positive player in this squad, and I just want somebody up top, like a proper left winger, who can help Luke Shaw with those overlapping runs.
yeah.
And neither Rashford, I think Rashford does it to an extent, but with Martial on the left, we
Does it
don't
to an
see
extent,
that
exactly.
happening.
Yes, yes. There is no chemistry between Martial and Luke Shaw, the one which you would expect to see with Rashford and Luke Shaw, because they have played a lot of games together on the left hand side. So yeah, I think I agree with that. Having him partnering up with Rashford definitely benefits him as well, and he is making those runs. So earlier, what used to happen with Luke Shaw, and which was super frustrating, was the fact that he would uh, r- run to the penalty box, but he would again look back and find a pass there, and and again that was a very passive move he used to make. But nowadays, I think with Teles's signing, what he has done pretty well is he's looking for the cross. He's either driving it low, or trying to put some whip on it and trying to find someone within the box. So that is really interesting for from Luke Shaw. He definitely will have a say in England squad for the Euros. So yeah, I think
Who do
Luke Shaw
we,
has been one of the most
who does
positive.
England have on the left back spot ahead of Luke Shaw? Yeah.
I think Ben Chilwell. So it's Chilwell.
Ah,
I think
are
it's
both of them the same age or
Chilwell.
what? Chilwell and Luke
Yes,
Shaw.
yes. So Luke Shaw, I think, might be a couple of years older, but uh, yeah. But I think
Hmm.
someone like Luke Shaw, who has been heavily criticized for for the body type he has, and not being able to run for the whole 90 minutes, he looks like someone who is super hungry for proving himself on the pitch. And yeah, I'm super happy with Luke Shaw
Wow.
at this moment. So
Shaw is
yeah,
25, Chilwell's 24, and
yeah,
Shaw can
just a
play
year.
both as a centre back, left-sided centre
Yes,
back, and a left
exactly,
back. So,
exactly.
like to me, I see Shaw having a bigger, better career than Ben
Yeah,
Chilwell.
yeah, yeah,
Because even if you don't play him at left back, he can definitely do a job as a centre back.
yeah,
And I think he's way more assured than all the centre backs that we have
yeah,
in our team so far. So I hope Luke Shaw gets his chances at the international level.
yeah.
To me, he's done a better job this year than Ben Chilwell. And
Absolutely.
had we had, maybe a I don't know, more prolific players playing ahead of
Yeah,
Luke Shaw,
yeah.
probably Luke Shaw would have had more returns.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, yeah, you know what's interesting there as well is if you look at Liverpool, right? They have Trent and Robertson, both of those wing backs putting in crosses. So at United, we currently have just one who is trying to do that, and Van Bissaka has no forward movement at all. And I think he needs to really work on his crosses
that
and the
right
type of
side,
deliveries. So yeah, I think
I think he
there
gets
is no
caught.
one from
Van
the right
Bissaka
hand side.
gets
Yeah,
caught.
yeah.
Like if you notice, I don't know if you saw that movement in today's game in the second half. Van Bissaka ran up ahead. Do you know
Hmm.
who moved into his position at right back?
Right.
Paul Pogba slotted into that right back position. Why? Because we had no Greenwood had drifted into a number 9 slot,
Right.
and there was nobody on the right to track back and
Yeah.
win the ball back if Van Bissaka would not have been able to make it. So Pogba dropped even more deep.
Yeah.
And when that happens, we know that Fred is not going to interchange play and take the
Hmm.
ball up and connect defense with attack. So what
Yeah.
happens? Pogba has to keep the ball on the right and
Right.
wait for a player to come towards the near post or come towards him to get the ball. And what happens? Players get crowded out. The attack does not develop. So
Exactly.
that right wing, as you're saying, is uh it's like a Bermuda Triangle for us. Any play that goes there is not coming out. It's like you have to start all over again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is fair to say. Like on the right hand side, we lack uh no
No
sort of
movement.
delivery or creativity or movement as well on the right hand side. So we need to take a look at that and fix that as soon as possible. Maybe next transfer window because this one is, I think, yes, tomorrow
January's
it's going to
done.
get over.
I
So
hope we get a loan signing, someone like
so
somebody in
yeah,
centre back or a CDM position. We need reinforcements. That
yeah.
midfield, when Pogba is not there, with Martic and McTominay,
Hmm.
we know what's happening. Those guys
It's
are there only to break an
breakthrough.
opposition
Yeah,
attack.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
not
yeah.
there to start our attack.
Nope.
That's why we get Lindelof in so that he can put the ball up top and bypass the midfield altogether. So
Exactly.
it took me a while to just wrap my head around, McTominay and Fred and why they play, and when they play, why does Lindelof play?
Yeah, that is
So
true. I think, yeah, we need to get some reinforcements in for sure. But yeah, the next three games, like I mentioned earlier, are so the next one is against Southampton. Next up is
Everton
Everton,
and West Ham
then a
in the
FA
FA Cup.
Cup, FA Cup game against West Ham. So those,
Surprisingly, Everton lost today.
yeah, they are not doing well,
I
and
mean, these
they
guys are
are under pressure
messing
as well.
up with my FPL team. Damn, the changes
Yeah,
that I made today, three players did not play. The two that I brought in ended up on the losing side. I'm like, I don't know what
I
to do.
think,
I
yeah,
should stop
I
playing
think
FPL.
United definitely have a good chance of taking points from these
Everton
games
game, yes, and the
and
Southampton game too.
and the Southampton game as well. So yeah, I think I am hopeful that we are able to manage 6 points of those two games, even though they are at home. I would expect United to be up for those games. I think it's coming up this Tuesday or Wednesday, if I'm not wrong.
It's Tuesday.
So
So
yeah,
February, four games: Southampton, Everton,
hmm,
West Brom, and
right.
Newcastle. Like
Hmm.
these four games, if we win it, I have a feeling we'll be back in contention for the top spot.
Yeah,
Like we
exactly.
won't
Yeah,
be
we'll
six
be
points
there,
or 7 points
thereabout.
off.
Yeah.
We'll be like right there because I have a feeling City might just,
Hmm.
draw a game here or there because
Yes.
let's see who City is playing. City plays Burnley. What am I even thinking?
Yeah.
But they play Liverpool next, and then they play Tottenham, and then they play Arsenal, and then they play us as well. Oh, they play us in March. So City is in a very tricky spot. So
Yeah,
after
yeah,
Burnley, I have a feeling if KDB does not make it through, we are possibly looking at a scenario where City might just draw games. If they don't win
yeah,
it, they'll at least draw
yeah.
the games, and then we can
Mm.
come back in
Yeah.
for that
I
top
think it's
spot.
just one. It's just one loss as well. If they lose one and we win that game week, we might just make up points for that. For like we might just be 3 points. Oh, sorry, 1 point behind them. So things can change pretty quickly. This league has been very fluid this season. Uh,
It's been
teams. I think
way too fluid, no? Than
yeah,
than ever. Like we don't know who's gonna be in the top four. The top four just changes after a month.
yeah, yeah.
This
You,
there's
you
a
know, yeah. Go ahead.
We led in December, and City now lead in January. Liverpool led
Yeah,
in November, and Chelsea was top in October. And
yeah.
I don't know, maybe
There's
Leicester
this.
Leicester would start leading in February. Who knows?
There's this stat which says that this league, this time around, the Premier League has had the most number of teams in the number one spot than any
Southampton
other
was there
season.
for a while. Everton was there.
Even Arsenal was there
Oh,
for
Arsenal is
almost
always
two.
there when the league starts.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Arsenal
So
should, stop playing games when
yes,
the table is called out for a new season. They're like, we're
yes,
not playing, we are winners. But
yeah,
Aston Villa was there as well, and Aston Villa has
yeah. Aston Villa
three
was
or
there
four
for some
games
time. Yeah,
to catch up on. So yeah, if Aston Villa win, I don't think they'll win, but if they do,
mm,
like they are looking at entering top
yeah.
four
It's
again.
going to be an interesting game. I'm just looking to start that up. So yeah, I think those were some of my thoughts about this game, which was I think a draw was a fair result in the end. Arteta would be the happier manager of the two
Oh,
for sure.
definitely. Seeing his team
Um,
climb from 18th
yeah,
to 8th,
yeah,
that's a
he's definitely the
big
yeah. Mm,
jump. I mean, Arsenal
yes,
had lost 8 games.
that is
They'd
true.
lost
Yes,
8 games, and now they're on a 6-game unbeaten run. So
unbeaten.
that says
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot about.
yeah. I think it's just like you said. If we go on a run like what Arsenal are currently on, like a 6 game or 8 game run, we still have the chance of making that final push. But I hope it does not we just don't drop off and get away from the top four. Yeah, I just hope that we stay there till the end of the season, at least stay in contention for the number one spot, but maintain that second spot or the third spot or the fourth spot. Just stay there, hang on, and hopefully we get some reinforcements next season because this time around I don't see any deals happening. So hopefully we can, like you said, turn things around in terms of the top six teams and put together wins against them next season as well. So things can change.
It's all to play for in this
Yeah,
league.
yeah,
It's all to play
absolutely,
for. No,
absolutely.
the table is not set yet.
Yeah,
December was too early to call, and I think end of March is when we would finally get a picture of how the top four or the top
exactly.
six will look. I feel United, like this is my thought, United has it in them to finish
To
in the
just
Champions
stay
League
there. Yeah,
places
yeah,
and
yeah.
then kick on from there next year.
You know what's going to be interesting is that once the European, like the Champions League and Europa League games start, you might see teams starting to drop off a little bit because playing in midweek and
Mm,
and during the weekend might also negatively hamper United because Europa League games are horrible because
I
they
think
are
maybe
on
that's where,
Thursday.
we
So
might see kids playing or Ahmad Diallo getting
yeah,
a run of
I would
games.
just I would just give Van de Beek the captaincy. just
Juan Mara,
just
Van de
let him play
Beek,
there
Diallo.
and yeah,
I think Martial should also drop back to the Europa League
yeah,
squad, find his
yeah.
form
Just
again.
have a separate team for the Europa League games and have a Premier League team which is ready and raring to go during the weekends. Yeah,
So it's all to play for still, a draw, but we are still in the second spot, a game ahead of Leicester,
for
Liverpool, and
Leicester.
City.
Yeah,
But at the end of this game week, we'll still be in top four spots. But now it's all to play for. United has
all to
had a
play
little
for. Yeah,
drop,
yeah.
and the only way is up for us. And I think
Yes, yes,
Solskjaer
absolutely.
is raring to go for a win. He's raring to go and take a shot at the title, even if it doesn't happen, but he wants his team to
Wants
at least get
to.
a taste of that battle
Yeah,
so that,
yeah.
we'll be better prepared next season.
Next season.
And yeah, hopefully we take the game to Southampton. It's a home game. I am very
Home game.
skeptical of home games these days because we've made it a habit of losing. We don't even come out with a draw. We just straight away lose. But hopefully
Lose.
we'll
Yeah.
change our fortunes against Southampton on February the 2nd. As always, let us know, Red Devils, what are your thoughts about United? What do you think about the racist comments against Marcel and Tuanzebe? Sh-
That is
You know,
unacceptable. Yeah, for
that
sure.
was deplorable, but we'd
Yeah.
love to know your thoughts about it and how should we go ahead. Hopefully, you've had a great Sunday. Hopefully, you enjoyed our show. And we always do. Me and Sagar have fun chatting up on United
Yes.
and FPL and
Absolutely.
every other thing. But
Yeah.
we look forward to continuing our discussion next week.
Yeah.
So until then, happy Sunday.